I'm just gonna jump straight into it. You guys already know what I'm gonna talk about, man. We gotta talk about this epic trade that happened in the NBA this past, what was it, Wednesday, I believe? And I'm talking about the trade that sent Kawhi Leonard, one of the top 5 players in the league when healthy, wink wink, to the Toronto Raptors for DeMar DeRozan. Now, when this was made official, a lot of people were very divided. This was probably one of the most polarizing trades I've personally ever seen, all right? You had a lot of people who were for this trade. You had a lot of people who were against this trade. In fact, I was actually watching Timmerson on Sportsnet yesterday, and they actually did a poll on where fans stand, in Toronto at least, with the Kawhi DeMar trade. And literally 50% of the people who voted said yes, they're in favor of it, while the remaining 50% said no, they're not in favor of it. And then they redid the poll an hour later, and it was 51-49 in favor of Kawhi coming to Toronto. So there's a lot of division, to say the least. It's a very polarizing decision. And I remember when we were on the air last week, I was kind of giving my hypothetical scenario if I were the GM, if I were the one to make the move or to pull the trigger on Kawhi coming to Toronto, whether I would trade DeMar or Kyle. And I obviously told you guys it would rather be Kyle because I'd rather have 2 stars in their primes playing alongside one another. But now this is the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is that DeMar DeRozan is no longer a Toronto Raptor, and instead it's Kawhi. Now, me personally, when I first heard the news, I'll be honest, I wasn't thrilled about it. I was not thrilled about it at all. Not because of the fact that, we're getting Kawhi Leonard, the top 5 former MVP candidate, former Finals MVP recipient, but because of the fact that we don't know if we are getting the NBA Finals MVP award recipient, the top 5 player, because of this whole quadricep injury that he's gone through for the last year or so. The man sat out in San Antonio when he could have been called back to play a few games back in March. But again, we don't know what Kawhi we're getting, so that's why it unsettles me. On top of that, we're finally now in the Eastern Conference that does not have LeBron James in it anymore, a.k.a. Raptors Kryptonite, a.k.a. the Boogeyman. So you would think that now that he's out of the conference, the Raptors have a much better chance of getting further ahead in the Eastern Conference. And with an addition of another star-worthy player, someone who can put up buckets, let's see how this team can now do. Now, if this were a scenario of DeMar being traded for Kawhi while the Eastern Conference still has LeBron James, then I say, okay, you know what? You got to pull the trigger. It's bittersweet, but it has to be done if we want to get past LeBron somehow, some way. But now that LeBron's out here and now you're trading away DeMar for a Kawhi Leonard who we don't even know is healthy and who we don't know if he's going to stay or not, it's very unsettling to me. What I've been noticing as far as, the chit-chatter around this trade is that there have been a lot of people who I've heard personally, I'm keeping receipts, people who have degraded and defamed DeMar DeRozan saying, oh, he's not good enough, he can't shoot threes, all he has is the mid-range, he can't play defense, he's not going to get us to a title, etc., etc., etc. I've heard it all. But then, boom, this trade happens, and those people are doing a complete 180 and saying, no, why'd you trade DeMar? That's our guy. He was the only man that was loyal to the team. Why'd you trade him? This trade sucks. Hold on. You can't diss the man for X amount of years and then cry, woe is me, we're going to miss DeMar. This is a travesty. There's no loyalty in the league. No, you don't get to sing the same tune. No. Have the same energy, ladies and gentlemen, all right? If you hated DeMar when he came in the door, you hate DeMar when he walks out the door. I'll at least give you credit for that. But I want some consistency, damn it. Now, I, for one, am probably one of 10 or 11 black people who actually liked DeMar DeRozan from the moment he came in up until the moment he came out. So for me, this kind of hurts on an emotional level. On a business level, I get it. I understand. GMs, presidents, they have to make these decisions for the betterment of the team. And this is where I want to get into right now. Loyalty is a word that's been thrown around in the NBA in particular in recent years. Ever since the cap went up, a lot of players have been expressing, player movement and going about as they please. And a lot of what we've been seeing in recent years is the fact that when a free agent makes a move on his own accord to better his own future, a lot of people will malign him for that. Most recently, DeMarcus Cousins, when he decided to go to the Warriors for a massive pay cut. But we know the context as to why he did that. Because no other team wanted him, And because Golden State was willing to take a chance on him for only the veteran minimum. So they got him on a discount. And either way, if he leaves and he has a good season with the Warriors, he can still get that 35 to 40 million a year that he's commanding on a regular basis. So that's one thing. But then when you have an executive who trades away one of their players and does it without, the consent of that player, then it was a team decision, it was better for the team and everything. So I don't want to hear this talk about loyalty or anything like that, because when it comes to loyalty and sports do not go hand in hand. We've seen that in many years. Look at Isaiah Thomas. The man played till he had nothing left. He had a busted hip, and his sister died in a tragic car accident, and he still got traded. Mind you, it was for the betterment of the team, as we now see, but at what cost now? You know what I mean? And now we're talking about loyalty. That shouldn't be a word that should be used freely at this point, because we've seen that now. So I understand the GM, the president of the team, they have to do what they have to do in order to better the team. But let's not celebrate that, but then malign a player when he decides that he wants to leave for greener pastures or what he may believe to be greener pastures. If you're a free agent, you have the right to do as you please. That's why when LeBron left to the Lakers this year, or this summer rather, I didn't care. I'm like, yo, you've done all you could for that city. You were there for 4 years in a row. You brought them one title. You brought them to 4 straight NBA finals, and you made them relevant. Like, the city of Cleveland is never relevant unless LeBron is attached to it. So he did all he could. He had every right to go to whatever team he wanted, even if that means the Lakers, which I sincerely hate with all my core. But that's besides the point. He had the right to go. So anyone who wants to criticize him or burn his jersey as what the kids are doing nowadays, like, you're a jerk. You're an asshole, all right? So at the end of it, kind of bring it all full circle. I am, saddened that DeMar is going, and I feel like this guy kind of got a bad rap, no pun intended, for some of his deficiencies, but no player is perfect at the end of the day. This guy, he is one of the top 10, 15 scorers in the league. This guy, he's one of the best players at getting to the free throw line, at finishing at the rim. He has some of the best footwork that I've seen in a long time. Even Kevin Durant was talking about it. The man can post up with, like, any player in the post, undersized or oversized. Has a sweet fadeaway jumper. Is now starting to hit the three, and now has become a better playmaker. And I believe that under Coach Popovich, he'll be that much better. Like, this is a player who has gotten better, progressively better every year, and I don't see that stopping under Greg Popovich. So I wish him the best, and I hope to God, I swear, I'm not even trying to boost when I say this, but I hope when he comes back to Toronto to play against the Raptors, please believe, I pray that he scores 50 on us. I hope he does. I'm sorry. I hope he does. I really do. As for Kawhi, it's in his best interest to ball out, because whether he stays or goes after next summer, there's money on the table right now. Like, you cannot risk losing that money by sitting out or doing whatever diva stuff that you were doing with San Antonio before. That shit's not going to fly in Toronto. I'm letting him know right now. So this guy better ball out. That's all I'm saying. So for now, I'm not happy about it. Once I see the results, I might change a tune. But for now, I'm kind of a little uncomfortable with it because I don't know where his health is right now. And chances are this guy's going to leave and go to LA. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys feel good about this trade? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you ecstatic? Either way, let me know. Hit me up with your thoughts in the comment section whenever I post this on YouTube and SoundCloud and all that good stuff. And we will talk a little bit more about this later in regards to Masai Ujiri, because he did have his press conference. And he did say some interesting things, and I'm going to get some sound bites and all that good stuff. Woo!